Wednesday.
Hi, friends.
Hi, friends. How are you doing? I'm doing great. You know what I was thinking? In recovery, it says, how do you know you recovered? One of the signs or symptoms is we cease fighting everything and everyone. And I was just thinking, like, have you ever been in a fight? No, not between you and me. No, I don't mean it like that. You're like, every day.
Like a fist fight on the street?
Yeah. Like, have you ever gotten in a fight? Like you push somebody in a mall and somebody's like, yo, what's up?
No, I was circled in the locker bay.
Circled in the locker bay? Like high school?
Hockey team.
What'd they do? Why'd they circle you? Did you say dumb things?
No, I didn't say anything. Are you kidding?
Did you go like, you size them up as they walk by?
No.
They just circled you?
Yeah, and then they were like, oh, look at the new girl. Look at her nice hair.
Did they touch you with
fire?
Are those hockey sticks? Or
I don't know. They just said stuff and then they went away.
Did they?
I didn't react, and so they went away. I was probably too petrified to react. I was like brand new at the school.
I've gotten a few little incidences in my lifetime, and all my problems are of my own making.
Yes,
but I was like thinking, like even like have you paintballed? Like paintball is like fighting, except with guns, but they're not real guns. In a way, I could never do war. I got shot in paintball all the time.
And cried?
I'm not careful. No, but if it was real bullets, no. I don't like fighting. Fighting's not good.
Your record would actually tell us otherwise.
No, I've changed. People change, by the way.
I do believe that.
People can change. People do get sober.
Yeah.
And people do cease fighting everything and everyone.
And I thought to myself, here's a guy that probably should have been in the UFC.
Here's a guy I know.
Because I think you actually did enjoy.
I got back into a couple of years ago. I got back into kickboxing, and I really enjoyed it because I do like the physical aspect of it. But I am to the age now where I would prefer napping over a lot of things, like over physical activity.
That needs to change for both of us very soon.
Let's go see our boy Pastor Mike and get back into the kickboxing studio. I do think though that I understand I do.
I was like, what was he actually talking about? I'm only on half a coffee. Cease fighting anything or anyone actually makes sense to me because remember when we did our finances and like we made a spending plan and like we organized it years and years and years ago and like
talk about fighting.
We would fight about money all the time.
Like I would bring up credit card. Like anything. Like it didn't matter if it was about money.
We would fight about money all the time. And then finally we had gone anyway. Short story.
I bet no one can relate.
We worked with someone. We actually worked with someone, made a plan, and it took a few months, but within 3 months, we weren't fighting about money anymore. It was here's where the money went, and here's where it's going to go, and here's the money that's going to come in this month, and this is what we're going to do with it.
And literally, we haven't had 10 years of no fighting about money. We might have had some debate.
But we've had 10 years of a spending plan. Yeah. And so we know pretty much where our money's going to go. Now, COVID, we went a little crazy. We just started using our credit card and we weren't keeping track, but we were still paying it off every month.
Yeah.
And so we buckled down.
We weren't in debt, but we couldn't keep bleeding.
And so
money.
Yeah, it wasn't crazy. It was just we weren't paying attention. Okay, it was crazy.
I don't want to minimize anything.
We weren't paying attention to it.
We weren't.
And then there was some.
It was like we're on holidays.
Yeah, there was some tension and there was some stress around it.
Yeah.
I also feel that around us, that even in other areas too, that there's been periods of time where it's felt like we're just always at each other or there's just this tension all the time. And that when we stay doing this, how many times have we stop doing a morning devotion together for a long period of time, and then one of us will pick it back up and be slam it on the table. Slam it on the table. We need to start doing morning devotions again.
Because we connect spiritually, and so we need these types of spiritual.
So as much as we do this to connect with you who are watching and like every once in a while I get a message from someone.
We do this for ourselves.
We really do need to do this for ourselves. We need to do this for our marriage.
But you thought it was a great idea since it's COVID. Let's just put it on display, film it.
I was joking.
No, but seriously, because I'm like, I know so much about recovery. And when we read this, like before cameraing, I would explain stuff to you and we would get in so many fights. But ever since the camera started, we haven't gotten, I don't think we've ever gotten a fight on camera. I think we've gotten a little heated after.
There were maybe a couple that were a little bit tense.
There was some, oh my goodness, there was some tension.
And then like off camera, like so we turn off the recording and then have to discuss.
Either we discuss or we burst out in laughter. You would want
to bring up that I responded a little bit like not kindly to you.
That's a good way of, am I still fighting something? Am I reacting to people? Am I still living out of my fear? Am I reacting to the fear? Am I reacting to people? What are you still fighting in your life?
Are we done? This is it. That was great.
No. Let's get to
the chat.
Let's get to the vote. All right, chat up. No one's chatted. That's Somebody fine. Say hi. Man, I'm going to say hi if you don't. There. Hi. All right. Rejecting shame, February the 3rd.
Sorry.
Are you fighting your coffee?
Sometimes you make me laugh.
Are you fighting your coffee?
Sometimes
in your throat hole?
I'm going to say hi to myself if no one else will say hi to me.
You're not okay?
People can be a little bit shy around this. Like,
okay.
I realize that not everybody wants to post publicly on our recovery channel.
You're choking,
which is okay. Coffee. You can message us privately.
All right, here we go. Are you?
John will just be over here talking to himself.
All right, rejecting shame.
Fine, reject this.
Reject this. Are you done?
I did swallow my coffee wrong.
I can tell.
I can't laugh when I'm drinking coffee.
You're literally going to need a COVID test. I feel like
I'm not sick.
I'm not sick.
I swallowed my coffee.
Rejecting shame.
I have the allergies.
Shh. Do you want to read this?
No, read it.
No, I can't read anymore.
You need to be serious. Right. Stop it. This is serious business.
Shame can be a powerful force in our life. It is the trademark of dysfunctional families. Authentic, legitimate guilt is the feeling or thought that what we did is not okay. It indicates that our behavior needs to be corrected or altered, or an amend needs to be made. Shame is an overwhelming negative sense of who we are isn't okay. Shame is a no-win situation. We can change our behaviors, but we can't change who we are. Shame can propel us deeper into self-defeating and sometimes self-destructive behaviors. What are the things that cause us to feel shame? We may feel shame when we have a problem or someone we love has a problem. We may feel shame for making mistakes or for succeeding. We may feel shame about certain feelings or thoughts. We may feel shame when we have fun, feel good, or are vulnerable enough to show ourselves to someone else. Some of us feel ashamed just for being. Shame is a spell put on us to control us, to keep us playing our part in dysfunctional systems. It is a spell many of us have learned to put on ourselves. Learning to reject shame can change the quality of our life. It's okay to be who we are. It's good enough. Our feelings are okay. Our past is okay. It's okay to have problems, make mistakes, and struggle to find our path. It's okay to be human and cherish our humanness. Accepting ourselves is the first step toward recovery. Letting go of shame about who we are is the next important step. Prayer for today. Today, I will watch for signs that I have fallen into shame's trap. If I get hooked into shame, I will get myself out by accepting myself and affirming that it's okay to be who I am. Amen.
Shame is such a big topic.
Shame is the topic of the day. Guilt is I've done something wrong. Shame is I am something wrong. And so we live out of our false selves all the time because
and then like
that's our wounding.
Even I know people that have connected with us, and I think that we can there, and I know that there's lots of people that like they'll kind of connect and then like they'll kind of pull away again, and I'm like, man, I just and sometimes I know that it's because they're not doing well because they've told me. Other times, like I don't want to guess that if I don't know it, maybe they just don't want to hang out, which is fine. But then sometimes I know that they're not doing well because that's what they've told me. And then what really I find really so tragic, I guess, is like when you're coming out of addiction and then like let's say someone has like a slip or a relapse, or they think that they'll pull themselves away because of the shame of like, well, I'm not who I think I should be or who they think I should be. And so then they'll isolate themselves and they won't stay in community. And like, I don't really think that you should be anything other than who you are. And like, if you're battling addiction, you're battling addiction. Like, I'll make decisions around how I interact with people who are high or people who are, but you know what? Like, just like connecting when I can connect with someone, who I often have grown to deeply care about. I'm willing to do that at whatever level they're able for wherever they're at. And so I found that like really, really tragic. Like I actually, and I have to release it regularly because.
Do you have a tendency to make it about yourself? Like when people isolate and go away because they're not doing well?
Yeah, I do. I mean, for sure, because I'm very self-centered that way. That's what I've learned in the last year, is that I'm very selfish and self-centered, and it's really all about me. And so that's something that I've been working through because I am codependent and I'm a fixer and I care about people. And I always thought that I was like doing it for them, but I have realized in the last year that I'm actually really doing it for me. And so that's been a journey this year of like learning, like, how do I interact with people without trying to fix them? How do I be present for people wherever they're at and then not be sad or put out or feel like it's my fault when addiction takes a hold of them again.
But the beautiful thing is we get to make a decision. We come to a decision to turn our will, which is our being, our ego, our false self, to the care of God for Him to change us. There's nothing. They said that we need to change a little bit. I think that we can put positivity in where some of the negative stuff is when we're beating ourselves up and we drag ourselves into community. But the reality is God's going to breathe a new identity into you. Right. So alcohol, your old life gave you an identity, gave you who you were. What you worship is what you turn into. And so as we position our hearts to God, He's actually going to blow that stuff away and your true self is going to come forward. And so where there was shame, now there's new identity. And so we lose our old self in recovery. And that's a beautiful thing. We just make the decision and then we move towards God.
We make the decision and then we move towards God. And I think it has to, like, moving towards God has to be a regular thing. I thought like I daily. Needed I thought like never mind just daily, but I need like all day. I need I need
all day, every day. Yeah, but it gets easier. Because then you start operating after you get through a certain part of recovery. After you start making amends, then you actually know your value. Then you actually know that what you have to offer is worth something because God's given it to you.
Yeah, and I know for sure for me, there was like a shame piece that was so strong and so big in my life that I actually thought it was going to take me out at one point, like 10, 12 years ago. I just thought like, I can't get past this and I can't get past it. And this is going to take over. And I remember just getting so desperate and crying out to God. And I remember screaming and crying and stomping my feet in the shower. And I took like a few scriptures out of the Bible And I had them on a piece of paper and I would like read them over and over and over. And I was like, God, these are your promises. Like, this is what you've promised. This is what you've promised. This is what you've promised. And just like, yeah, stomping my feet and like crying out to God. And he did lift that shame. Like, I can't remember the exact moment, but I know there was like a massive shift.
And it's a continual process. And that I'm being faced with that now, doing the work again, is like I've had something prop up out of a fear, and it's like blowing my mind because I didn't ever think that I was operating out of a false self. And it has to do with my disabilities, like my ADD and my dyslexia, which I never thought would be a problem. But there's certain things that I hide so that I'm not exposed. And so that's the fear behind it, because I actually have shame around that. And then I make fun of it and I do things to make it so that, or I try to prove myself wrong. Anywho.
Well, thanks for doing this with me.
Thanks for doing this with me. Vicky is speaking today at noon on Zoom, and she has a topic of agnosticism. Where in your heart have you been agnostic? Where you leave God out? So I'm excited for that. Join us, friends, at noon. We can have a double whammy today. We can have a double header. So head on over, see our social media, comment, and put a heart somewhere, maybe an emoji, and I'll put you in a draw at the end of the month or at the beginning of next month. We're going to go monthly.
We're going a monthly draw?
Yeah, we're going to go
monthly.
We
should do the end of February.
No, we already did the beginning of February. Somebody already won. All right. Okay. We can talk about that later. All right. Have a great day. See you at noon, and keep the peace and be of good behavior and all that stuff. Right? Do you have anything to say? Do you want to say goodbye?
I liked your old ending better.
What? Go wash your hands?
Yeah.
Hockey sticks in hands. All right. Bye.